Who was the driver at the end of Halloween 2018? I get quite a few requests to talk about certain things about Halloween in future videos, and one of the most popular requests over the past couple of weeks was who was the driver at the end of Halloween 2018. And I think this question is really thanks to Dave McRae. For those of you who don't know Dave McRae, he's one of the biggest Halloween guys on YouTube at the moment, and he done a 2-hour long discussion on what he would like to see in a sequel, I believe. I haven't watched it, so I don't know anything about his synopsis, but ever since that synopsis, I'm assuming that's when it was, I've had a lot of people asking me my thoughts on who I think was at the end of Halloween 2018, who was that driver at the end of the movie. Now, before I even thought about it, I just assumed it was nobody, just a walk-in standout person that nobody's ever going to see, and even when Halloween Kills comes out, we're never going to see this driver. That's what I was assuming to begin with. I still think that's most likely going to be the case, to be honest, because I think it would be too elaborate to make it anyone important, and maybe too convenient as well. Now, I think what Dave said, because I think this is what a lot of people are telling me, that they think that the driver could be Charles Cyphers himself, playing Sheriff Brackett in the film. Possibly not a sheriff anymore because he's too old to be a sheriff, but sort of like this vigilante that's going about looking for Michael Myers, especially since he found out that Michael Myers has escaped. So he's obviously going around maybe trying to find out where he is, and maybe he knows where Laurie lives. I would assume that he knows where Laurie lives. If it was Sheriff Brackett himself, I don't think it is Sheriff Brackett. With the way that Halloween 2018 ended, with Laurie on the back of the pickup truck, is it a pickup truck? Whatever truck it is, on the back of the truck with her granddaughter and her daughter, and they've just survived. The way that they're sitting there, I don't think that she wouldn't have noticed Sheriff Brackett, and likewise I don't think Sheriff Brackett wouldn't have noticed Laurie, because let's remember Laurie's best friend was Annie, and Annie's dad was Sheriff Brackett, so Laurie had that connection to Sheriff Brackett as well. And also Sheriff Brackett himself has more of a reason to go after Michael Myers than Laurie Strode. Yes, Laurie Strode had a hard time in 1978 and she was a survivor, but none of her family members were killed. It was just her friends that were killed, and she had an attempt on her life. If you look at it from Sheriff Brackett's point of view, he was in charge of the town. People died on his watch. That was bad enough. And then he had his daughter die in the meantime. So he is the one that we should be focusing on, really, because he's the one that deserves the revenge more than Laurie Strode. But who else could the driver be? Another one is Michael Myers himself. I absolutely don't think that's going to be the case. I think that would be a little bit too far-fetched, maybe more far-fetched than Sheriff Brackett just happened to pass by. And the reason for that is obviously the last time we saw him was in the basement itself. Now, I don't mind Michael Myers getting out of the basement and we're not finding out what happened to him, but for him to escape the basement, go away in the distance, find a truck and come back, it's a little too far-fetched. He is supernatural in a way, but he's not as supernatural as we think. He is a human being after all. I don't think a human being could run away in the distance, find a truck and come back again. And again, with Alison looking inside the truck, looking at the person, I don't think she would have got a ride by a guy who's burnt up and was most likely Michael Myers. Now, we could play on the Sheriff Brackett idea as well, with Alison being the only person looking at the person in the truck. She obviously doesn't know Sheriff Brackett himself, and maybe Karen doesn't know Sheriff Brackett either, so they might have put her on the truck. But I would imagine that the driver himself would have came out of the truck to see if Laurie was okay. And if it was Sheriff Brackett, he'd be like, "Oh, Laurie, it's you." So yeah, it's definitely not Sheriff Brackett, I don't think anyway. I'm saying I don't think, and I'm saying definitely not. But if they do want to spin it in a way that where it was cut in Halloween 2018, we would cut to Halloween Kills, and it would go back a little bit with the driver coming out, seeing that it's Laurie, seeing that it's Brackett, giving each other a hug, getting her on the back of the truck and then going, then they could do something like that. But again, it's a little bit too convenient, and I don't think that would work in a realistic Halloween universe. That's only 3 options that I can think of. Michael Myers being one of them, Sheriff Brackett being one of them, and an absolute random person being the other. I still think it is a random person. I don't think that's very significant. I think the significance of the truck being there was just for those three girls to escape and get out of there, and that's it. I don't even know if we will see the truck at the beginning of Halloween Kills. We could have Laurie in hospital. We could have right from the off with the truck driving away. That's where we could pick up from, so the truck could be in it. Or we could even go a year in the future. I just don't know. One other person that it could be, and again it's another far-fetched one, and it's Tommy Doyle. I don't think it's going to be Tommy Doyle. I get a lot of people thinking it's going to be Tommy Doyle as well. If there is any significance to anybody being this driver, I would hate for it to be somebody that we know from Halloween 1. If it's a random person that picks them up and becomes a character in Halloween Kills, I would be fine with that. But if it to be someone significant that we haven't seen for a while, I think again that's too far-fetched. And the last person that it could be is a little bit more realistic, but still maybe too hard to comprehend, and that could be Aaron in Halloween from 2018. We assumed that he could have died in the bathroom, but it's not confirmed that he did die. So he could have escaped from the hospital, went after Michael Myers because he killed his partner, and he's found the truck and he's on his way back. So I think realistically, out of all those people that I've mentioned, apart from it just being a random person, I think Aaron could be the most likely, but still highly unlikely. Who do you think the truck driver could be, guys? Or are you like me? Do you think it's just going to be a random person? I think it's going to be a random person, but I always like to know your thoughts as well. I've had a lot of comments about it over the past couple of weeks, which is great. A lot of your thoughts. Every person I've mentioned in this video is the only ideas that you've came up with so far, but for those of you who haven't given your ideas, leave the comments down below. Let me know who you think could be the truck driver. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.